Hey friends, Mindy here. I have a super simple setup for you today. I'm going to be setting up my little tag ring to work through Tempted from Bythewell4god. I decided to go this way just because I know that March already is going to be a busy month for me, and I just need something super simple this month. So I have this box. This is a Cheerios box. If you've been around my channel a while, you know that there's no box that gets left behind at my house. So I have this big Cheerios box, and it's kind of a heavier weight of box. And so I just cut it down a little bit to size with my Tim Holtz trimmer there. And then I'm tracing around this large tag. I cannot remember where I got these tags from, but they're huge. They're like 8 inches tall and about 4 inches wide. So they're a pretty good size. In the end, I do end up trimming about 3/4 of an inch off of the bottom. I just felt like with the proportions of everything else that I was dealing with, I needed it just to be a little bit shorter. But for this point right here, everything is 8 inches tall. So I trimmed those out, just cut those down after I traced them. And they're usually, I will make when I do a tag ring, I'll make the covers a little bit larger. I didn't even do that with this. They're just the same exact size as my tags. So I went through the papers and I decided to use this beautiful floral here. And then I normally will do like the front and back covers the same paper, but I decided to change that up this time and do this kind of neutral green on the back cover, just because I wanted to be able to save those other two papers to use inside the tags. And so I didn't want to have I didn't want to have to sacrifice one for the other cover. So as it turns out, my 4-inch scrapbook.com double-sided tape works perfectly to cover these because they're exactly 4 inches. A little bit tricky here just because the entire thing is covered. This is super, super sticky double-sided adhesive, but it works really great. Score Tape is another brand. I'm just really trying to use up this 4-inch roll because I have it and it's so big. And then I'm just kind of trimming these apart. And then I was toying with the idea of putting paper on the inside. And in the end, I actually kind of like the craft look to it. So I may change my mind later on. We'll see like what papers I have left over, but for right now, I'm just going to leave it because I kind of like it. So I'm pulling back just the edge of this paper just to expose a little bit of the adhesive because this entire tag is covered with this super sticky tape. I want to make sure that I don't just drop it down, and especially because it's exactly 8 inches tall and so is my paper, and so I need to be really exact with this. So I just kind of make a little wing and then I get it where I want it, and then I press down into the adhesive and then I pull the release paper, and that just works really well for this kind of situation where everything, the entire surface is covered. So here I'm just trimming off the excess of around the tag shape up at the top, and then I'm going to do the same exact thing to the bottom section or the back cover, just with that green kind of texture looking paper. And then I'm just using a hole punch and going through using a tag as the template to punch out the holes in there. And that one was a little bit trickier, but I think I was didn't have it quite lined up. But anyway, just a regular hole punch to do that. If you didn't have one, you could even just use an awl and kind of ream out the center, and that would work too. I just used the tag as a template, and then I happen to have this little ring reinforcer punch. This is a We Are Memory Keepers punch that I've just had forever. And so I just punched that out of the scraps that were left over, and then I'm doing kind of the opposite. So I'm putting the green on the flower and then the floral one on the green, if that makes sense. So I'm not doing the inside, just going to do the outside for now. It's pretty heavy cardstock, it's not exactly cardstock, but chipboard. So I don't really think I'm going to have too much trouble with it tearing or anything. And then I know that this is not like a vintage looking kit or whatever, but I always just feel like things look better with a border. So I'm going to go ahead and distress the outside of both the front and back tag covers with my archival ink and ground espresso. And then I have this ring that I've had in my stash, and I'm just going to put this on here. I toyed with the idea of doing a white ring, but then I really kind of liked that, just that kind of pewter, it's not pewter, it's like bronzed, aged bronze kind of look. So I'm going to go ahead and go with that for now. Like I said, I can always add something to the inside cover later on if I want to. We'll see. But so this is for day one. I'm going to go ahead and do the process video for this. It's going to be super simple. As you can see, I have now trimmed down these tags and the covers as well, just about 3/4 of an inch. And because these tags are manila, they're going to look a little bit different. The colors are going to show up just a little bit different than they would obviously on a straight white. So I actually used the little cutoff pieces to kind of get an idea for how these colors were going to work. And so one of the colors that I'm using in Distress Oxide is Shabby Shutters. And I don't think that this was actually listed as one of the colors in the color swatches, but at least for the work that I'm doing for today, for the cards and journaling cards and stuff that I have picked out, it just felt like it went really, really well. I really like how this color showed up on this kind of manila colored tag. So I'm just going through here with a little makeup brush and just picking and choosing the areas that I want to. I even flipped the stencil over at one point so that I could have it, you know, turning the direction that I wanted. Just adding a little bit of interest there to the background. I have already written out all of my verses and notes and everything, and so I created a little hinge with this journaling card so that I can glue this down on one side. You could certainly just, you know, use washi tape or whatever if you wanted to, but I just wanted to create a little hinge, and I did that before I started writing, so I would make sure that I didn't write into that section, and then I just glued that one little section. It just makes a little hinge there. It works really well to do that. And then I'm going to use this ephemera piece kind of tucked underneath there as a tuck spot for my other journaling card here. This is the paint chip one that came, I think, as a freebie, and then my two little flashcards. And anytime I'm using an ephemera piece for a tuck spot, what I'll do is kind of hold them in place so I know exactly where to put the glue so I don't put it in the wrong spot. And then I remove it before I glue it down. That way I can just make sure that I'm not getting glue where I don't want it to go, and my journaling card is still going to tuck in there. And then I'm going to use the title starters. This is part of the extra sticker pack that comes with the kit, just up there in the top right hand corner. I couldn't get this straight to save my life for some reason, and I was lining it up with the edge, so I don't even know what my problem was. some days just be that way. So you'll see me kind of fiddle with this a couple times just to try to get this. I was lucky that I was able to actually pull this up because this is sticker paper. It's not washi, but I was able to pull it up without damaging the tag underneath. So I was happy about that. And then I'm just going to pretty much leave it just like this. It's going to be super simple. Again, my pages this month are probably going to be really simple, just focusing my time on the notes and the study, and because I know that March is going to be crazy. So I do want to add just a little bit of a little closure over here. So I'm going to use one of my Tim Holtz mini paper clips just on the side. It's actually not necessary. Nothing's going to fall out. Those journaling cards are not going anywhere. They're tucked in that ephemera piece, and so I'm not worried about them falling out, but I thought just to keep that close so it's not kind of flopping around, and it just adds another little layer of interest. And some of the days I may include some notes here on the back, but I'm not actually intending to decorate the backside of these tags. I may or I may not. For day one, I decided not to, but I am going to indicate that this is day one using the Big Idea outlined stamp, and then just stamping it in that Shabby Shutters Distress Oxide ink that I used on the front. And that is going to be it for me. It's going to be a super simple tag. I hope you found this video helpful. I know that this is a really simple process for me for this month, but sometimes you just have to be aware, you know, of where you're spending your time, I guess. And so this just felt like the best solution for me for this month. So anyway, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. If you like this video, I would appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And until next time, bye.